action is certainly guaranteed in next week's film, Jaguar Lives, about a group of special agents called the Big Cats. That's next Friday, 11:10.
2 American scientists lost in the swirling mists of time.
Can we get them out of there?
No, I don't think so. Our signal is very weak.
The best brains in the world cannot retrieve them, and there's no light at the end of the time tunnel.
We now have a time fix, but we need a spatial fix as well.
With terror in their eyes, they blink in the face of infinity as the sands of time run out. Only passion, advanced science, dedication, and some pretty snappy dressing can save them from being doomed to roam the 4th dimension forever in the time tunnel in the not-too-distant future.
Night time.
And now you can see where the time travellers will fit into Friday's night time. Also, for your delight, we have adventures with Sledgehammer, Batman, and of course, we start off with Jolly James Whale.
Night Flight 2. The new album of great music. 16 soulful songs from Peebo Bryson, Roberta Flack, Joyce Sims. Night Flight 2. Night Flight 2. More great music to come home to.
What you're listening to is the business language of the future from British Telecom. A language that enables your customers to picture your product instantly. That lets you receive vital data in seconds. After all, the faster your company receives information, the quicker you can profit from it. For your action pack, call us free on 0800 800 800. British Telecom. It's you we answer to.
Turn on, tune in, drop out.
Stop biting your nails, Larry. There's nothing strange in the cupboards, is there? Daphne won't find anything in there, Larry. Just that silly old...
Night time.
You're now entering the nighttime zone. In a moment, it's James Whale, but first, over to ITN for the headlines.
Paul Hill, the last of the Guildford Four to be released, is back with his family in London. He's to have an operation on a broken cheekbone before an appeal against his conviction for murdering a former soldier. He was freed on bail after Belfast High Court allowed the appeal to go ahead. Hill's confession was obtained by the same Surrey policeman being investigated for perjury in the Guildford case. 2 inquiries are underway into the convictions. On the plane to London, Hill was with his daughter, born just after he started his sentence. Hill said he'd spent 14 years in the darkest dungeons of the British legal system. The toast was freedom.
Freedom. And my daughter.
A former detective is being questioned by police in London about attempts to extort £1 million by threats involving the contamination of baby food. He was arrested while withdrawing cash from a North London building society. It followed one of the biggest surveillance operations ever mounted in Britain. The jars of food were spiked with glass, metal and caustic soda. Shop stewards at Ford's Dagenham plant have warned the blue-collar workforce against any wildcat walkouts. They've urged them, in letters, to be less militant and more productive. Ford are due to respond next week to a claim for a substantial pay rise, at least 10%. The transport union also believes unofficial strikes might give the company an excuse to cut back at Dagenham. Sierra production is already being moved to Belgium. Winds of up to 80 miles an hour are causing widespread damage in the southwest, tearing down trees and power lines. Heavy rains have also made driving conditions treacherous, and there have been many accidents. Forecasters say the storms will spread from the south up through the west of England and Wales. President Bush has visited areas of Northern California devastated by the San Francisco earthquake 3 days ago. He saw the section of motorway which collapsed in Oakland, crushing scores of motorists to death. Local officials told him they needed cash aid as quickly as possible. President Bush also saw the young boy cut from a car after being trapped for 30 hours. And that's all for now. We have more news later.
A musical interlude brought to you by Nite.
Goodbye, everyone.
Just after 2 o'clock this morning, we'll be meeting the zany detective, or should that be defective, Sledgehammer, who's getting all shook up. First, though, another hour in the company of the unpredictable and occasionally unprintable Mr. James Whale and his radio show.
Okay, good. Thank you very much indeed. This is Amanda, isn't she lovely? Wonderful. Nice to have you with us. The James Whale Radio Show tonight, live right around the country. And tonight we're looking at the press, the newspapers. Do you believe everything you read in the newspapers or not? Perhaps you... Get the coffee. Come on, run around. Perhaps you shouldn't believe everything you read, as we will show you. If you have any views on the press, whether you think they pry into the personal lives of the rich and famous too much or not, you can phone us now. The phone numbers, of course, as you well know, there we are, 0532 46 1000, and you can fax us. We've had lots of faxes already. Just send us, there's the fax number. You can do all that and more on the show tonight. We've got music, mayhem, merriment and mirth, and as many cliches as I can get in. And before we have some music to start off with, everybody that I met at the White House Hotel in Whitehaven in Cumbria last night. It was an awful night, raining and everything. Loads of people there. They're watching tonight. Alison, Tina, Sam, Val, Cap, Gillian and Spencer, to name but a few. This is for you. Go on and finish off the programme taking a few more calls, okay? Paul, I can't take any more calls. That's all I can take. Oh, well, that's it. Okay, well, thank you very much indeed for the faxes and everything else. And I suppose we might as well go home. Is your boyfriend still outside? Yeah. Never mind. There's a back door out here, and what we could do is we could actually go out of the back, but you won't mind, will you? All right? Nick, do you think you can hold the fort?
Oh, sure.
Okay, well, come and sit in here, Nick. You'll be all right. Come and sit in here, and we're going to take a walk out. Okay? You won't be too cold like that, will you? David, thank you for coming on the show. Lovely to meet you.
Great.
You just relax, enjoy yourselves, have a party whilst you're in here. Amanda, take my arm. I think you've done remarkably well, Amanda. May I say that? And before any of these newspapers get any kind of idea of saying there's anything between us, you know, it's purely physical, isn't it? It's purely a physical thing. It's purely a physical thing. There's absolutely nothing in it apart from that. And I'm sure we'll have a lot of fun. I've got the cart round the back, and your fella, he's out that way, so I don't think you need to worry about it too much at all, all right? Okay. Oh, by the way, have a nice weekend. Michael, all quiet, look at all this. Give us a... If my wife phones, Michael, can you tell her that I'm going to be just a little bit late, okay? Bye now. Bye. Oh, it's raining. Never mind.
Gentlemen, your attention please, the television screen.
Night time.
There's still so much entertainment still to come on Night Time, I hardly know where to begin. So I'll just tell you to stay tuned for top detective Sledgehammer getting all shook up with his Elvis impersonations.
これヘビはアメリカしか解いたばかりのヘビです。さあどうだ。さてここでヘビを取り替えてこれをパンツの中に入れちゃいます。あ、このヘビが。Golden moment from Golden Wonder.
800 years ago, London had its first Lord Mayor. There's been a Lord Mayor ever since, through all the city's centuries of expansion. The Royal Mail celebrates the 800th anniversary with 5 new stamps illustrating the Lord Mayor's show. They're at your post office from October 17th onwards. This presentation pack includes a free ticket to the Tower Bridge exhibition, and there are postcards to send or collect. Royal Mail stamps. Beautiful gifts you'll want to keep.
When you choose a toothpaste for your family, does it give maximum fluoride protection? Does it actually toughen teeth on the outside? Does it help fight plaque with regular brushing? And does it have a taste the whole family actively enjoys? In fact, does it have an answer to all these needs? If it's new signal, it does.
Oh, Kevin, I do like it in our medallion award home.
Me too, Tracy.
So warm, so cosy. There's just one thing.
What's that, Petal?
These red lines. They sort of get under your feet.
That's total heating, Tracy. It shows we're making the most of less than half-price electricity.
Which I assume, Kevin, is why in many cases electricity is so economical to run.
Got it in one trace.
Why, thank you, Kevin. Oh, I suppose you get used to them.
Ooh.
Not central heating, total heating.
The crew of the Starship Enterprise is taking you where no one has gone before. Star Trek V, The Final Frontier.
Continues now with the latest news headlines from ITN.
A former detective is being questioned in London about attempts to extort £1 million by threats involving the contamination of baby food. He was arrested as he withdrew cash from a North London building society after one of the biggest police surveillance operations ever mounted in Britain. The jars of food were spiked with glass, metal and caustic soda. The man is also being questioned about alleged extortion from a pet food firm last year. A news blackout had been agreed by police and the media to prevent copycat extortions. Paul Hill, the last of the Guildford Four to be released, is back with his family in London. He's to have an operation on a broken cheekbone before an appeal against his conviction for murdering a former soldier. He was freed on bail after Belfast High Court allowed the appeal to go ahead. Hill's confession was obtained by the same Surrey policeman being investigated for perjury in the Guildford case. 2 inquiries are underway into the convictions. On the plane to London, Hill was with his daughter, born just after he started his sentence. Hill said he'd spent 14 years in the darkest dungeons of the British legal system. The toast was freedom.
Freedom. And my daughter.
In Northern Ireland, 2 police officers have been shot and wounded in a terrorist attack. Their patrol car was ambushed on the Bessbrook to Balik Road in South Armagh. Shop stewards at Ford's Dagenham plant have warned the workforce not to walk out on wildcat strikes. They've told them in letters to be less militant and more productive. Ford are due to respond next week to a claim for a substantial pay rise, at least 10%. Sierra production is already set to be transferred from Dagenham to Belgium, and the shop stewards from the Transport Workers Union say there's a real danger Ford will decide to close Dagenham in the mid-90s. Winds gusting up to 86 miles an hour are battering the south coast and causing widespread damage in Devon and Cornwall, tearing down trees and power lines. Heavy rain has caused traffic accidents and there's some flooding in South Wales. Forecasters say the storms will spread from the south up through the west of England. And that's all for now. We have more news later.
What about the people looking at this? What do they think? Do they want to be enemy or do they want to be friendly? Or do they even think of these terms? Or is it my paranoia?
Listen to me, listen to me!
Later on, Batman gets to upstage the Joker and the time travellers drop in on Robin Hood. But right now, Sledgehammer does a creditable impersonation of Elvis Presley.
Trust me, I know what I'm doing.